5 tips for solo travelers and just travelers in general. So solo traveling is becoming a really big thing nowadays, more so than ever. Everyone's getting out of their comfort zone, starting to travel by themselves. Some people travel in pairs, some people travel in groups, some travel as friends, it's whatever. But either way, there's some things you need to know. So the first and most important thing that I think is you need to make sure you're prepared in terms of payments. So what I'd recommend is getting a bank account where you could deal with different foreign currencies. I would suggest either Monzo or Revolut. Monzo's good, especially if you have one of the premium plans, because you get no exchange rate fees or anything along the lines of that. Revolut is a more common one, and you could actually have a physical card where you could withdraw cash in foreign currencies. You could have different bank accounts on your app with different currencies, so I'd recommend using that one as well. There's also a paid premium plan if you want different extras and things along the lines of that. But essentially, definitely get yourself a card or a bank account where you could handle numerous currencies. And what I would say is, in some cases, just depends on where you're going, get yourself some local currency in cash, as it's easier for you to not get scammed and for prices to not be inflated when you're paying by card. So you could just pay for most things in cash. Some restaurants, some people could be very cheeky, put the price up on the actual card machine or tell you there's fees and charge you more. So be quite wary of that. So I'd recommend those 2 banks, but there's plenty others. Do your research about that. But just in general, when you're traveling, having one of those multi-currency bank accounts is crucial. You know, you could either pay by card or pay by cash. In some circumstances, definitely use your credit card, simply because you're protected when you use your credit card. Debit card, you're not protected. Money on a credit card is borrowed, so you are protected in that regard. But yeah, that's probably the first tip. Number 2 now, when you're looking for accommodation, before you even go on holiday, firstly, kind of have an idea of the landmarks and the things there are to do and see, depending on your style and when you go on holiday. If you're someone who likes to lounge and just chill, think about going to places where that's best. If you're someone who likes activities, think about going to places where that's best. If you're someone who just freestyles, then I reckon just situate yourself in the center of wherever you're going, where there's good transport links, where you could just walk. I personally advise walking everywhere as it's best. You see things, you see people, you see stuff that's not even suggested that you might enjoy. But yeah, if you're someone who does excursions, so this is the real goal, man, yeah? So if you're someone who does excursions, right, think to yourself, do you need to pay for that excursion? Because a lot of companies and a lot of tour guides and things like that are unnecessary, simply because if you're living in the center of somewhere, you could literally walk to places. You could catch public transport. You could go and see things by yourself. You don't need to be paying extortionate fees for people to take you there. And on that same note as well, taxis, don't use them unless you really need to, because public transport in most places is very cheap, especially if you come from the UK. And I'm talking about 40 to 50p in most places. Some places, like I went to Prague, for example, you can get a day pass about £3. You could get a week pass about £10. You can travel anywhere around and you're literally just paying £10. Taxi, you're talking about £50, £40, £60 for one journey in some places. So definitely find out about the public transport system, educate yourself on how it works, and then use them wherever possible. It's a much easier way to get around. You could get a lot more places and you save a lot of money, which you could then use for other things. So that's tip number 2. Okay, number 3 is, if you're traveling solo specifically, be very aware and cautious of what happens around you and where you are, because at the end of the day, it's you by yourself. Whether you're a woman or a man, yeah, the level of danger is still present. Maybe more so for women, but depending on what country you go to, it's the same, I'll be honest with you, you know? So just kind of be aware of what's going on around you, you know? Always be observant. And this is a number 1 tip: be respectful and mindful wherever you go, because some people go on holiday, they start acting out of character, they get themselves in situations. Be respectful, friendly, nice to everyone. Don't act like you do back home, because it doesn't run in certain countries. I've seen people come from like the UK, all kind of different countries, they just act out of character, they just act like they're someone special abroad, they get themselves in situations. When there's a language barrier, always confirm and clarify things. Always try and translate where possible as well. Yeah, so that's my tip number 3. Tip number 4, what should tip number 4 be? I mean, just be adventurous. Like, I personally feel it's not even a tip, it's just guidance. Just be adventurous. Try new things, walk around, look at new things. Try and make the most of your time. Don't be that boring traveller that just sticks to the norm. Go around, see things, you know. And especially when it comes to excursions as well. Especially when it comes to excursions, yeah, they always take you to the traditional things. The traditional things that people always do, and they inflate the price really high. If you walk around and you find things by yourself, or you navigate to do stuff by yourself, 9 times out of 10 it's a lot cheaper. So I'll definitely recommend that. And then the final one would be, what should I find? Oh yeah, okay, cool. Transport, airport, yeah. So when you're coming into a country, depending on what country it is, I would always recommend that you're early to the airport, because the check-in process could be very difficult and very long in some places. So you kind of got to be a bit mindful of that. Some countries it's really quick and it's seamless, but it all depends on whether English is spoken, fluently there in the airport, and how people are just in general, like the country's customs, how people are, whether they're friendly, and things like that. Sometimes people could give you hassle, when you're trying to get around in the airport, or, just always arrive early to save yourself a lot of problems. And that's my final tip.